All right, let's talk about pests, but probably not in the way you're used to. Forget about the endless spraying, the constant battles. Today we're going to explore a totally new way of thinking. We're going to talk about how to build a garden that is so fundamentally healthy that pests, well, they just can't survive in it. It's not about fighting them off. It's about making your plants literally indigestible to them.
And this right here? This single idea is the absolute key to everything. We do not feed the pest. We finish the protein. Now that isn't just a clever line. It's a biological command. What it's telling us is that a pest problem isn't a sign that our defenses are weak. Nope. It's a sign that our plant's nutrition is incomplete.
I mean, we've all been there, right? You walk out to your garden, you're excited, you're full of hope, and then you see it. It's covered in these tiny little vampires. Aphids, spider mites, whiteflies, thrips, they just seem to show up out of thin air. And getting rid of them can feel like a full-time job. It's so frustrating.
But what if these pests aren't actually the bad guys we think they are? What if they're more like messengers, trying to deliver some really important information about the health of our plants? This is where we make the big shift. We stop just reacting to a problem and start understanding the revelation behind it.
This is the question that changes everything. We have got to stop asking, how do I kill all these aphids? And instead, start asking, wait a minute, why are the aphids even here? And the answer to that question is absolutely fascinating.
So here's the core science of it. Pests like aphids have really simple digestive systems. They literally cannot digest complex, fully formed proteins. It's just not possible for them. What they can eat, and in fact the only thing they can eat, is raw, unprocessed stuff like nitrates and simple amino acids floating around in a plant's sap. You can think of it as plant junk food. It's pure sugar to them. So when a plant isn't healthy enough to complete its own protein synthesis process, its sap gets loaded up with this plant candy. It's basically stuck in what we call level 1 health, or the danger zone. And that lazy, sugary sap sends out a powerful signal to every aphid and whitefly for miles, basically screaming, "Hey, free lunch over here, all-you-can-eat buffet!" The pests are just nature's cleanup crew, and their job is to take out the weak.
But here's the good news. We do not have to just accept this. We can actually step in and fix the plant's metabolism from the inside out. We can help it transform from that all-you-can-eat buffet into something that pests physically cannot digest. So our goal is to get that plant from level 1 health up to level 2. We want to help it convert all that raw nitrate junk food into complete, complex proteins. And when a plant does that, it achieves something called passive immunity. It's not actively repelling pests, it's just starving them. They show up, they try to take a bite, they find nothing on the menu they can eat, and they either leave or they die. It's that simple.
So how do we actually do this? Well, we have to focus on the engine of this whole process, inside the plant. The entire conversion from bug food into plant muscle is driven by one single, absolutely critical enzyme. It's called nitrate reductase. If that enzyme isn't firing on all cylinders, the whole system just gets backed up.
And you know, every engine needs a spark plug to get going. For the nitrate reductase enzyme, that spark plug is a trace mineral called molybdenum. Without molybdenum, the plant could be swimming in nitrogen, but it just can't finish the protein. That tiny little mineral is the key that turns the whole engine over.
Okay, so this all leads us to a super practical do-it-yourself protocol that anybody can use. If molybdenum is the ignition key we need, well, how do we get that essential spark plug into our plants in a way they can actually absorb and use right away?
Amazingly, the answer isn't some fancy, expensive product you have to order online. It's Brazil nuts. Yeah, Brazil nuts. They grow in these deep Amazonian soils, and they are nature's most concentrated biological source of molybdenum on the entire planet. The key is locked up inside them. We just need a way to get it out.
And this is how we do it. It's called the Molly reactor protocol, and it's basically a simple fermentation. First, you just pulverize the nuts to get as much surface area as possible. Then you mix that meal into warm water with something called Nuruk, which is an amazing enzyme starter. The enzymes in the Nuruk, specifically the protease enzymes, they act like little molecular scissors that go in and unzip the proteins in the nuts, releasing all that precious molybdenum. After about a week, you just strain it, and that liquid gold you're left with is your molybdenum activator. Now, the application is incredibly precise. This stuff is potent. You dilute the activator at a strict ratio of 1 to 1,000. That's just 1 tiny milliliter per liter of water.
You apply it as a foliar spray right onto the leaves. This gets the molybdenum directly into the plant tissue, where it immediately ignites that nitrate reductase enzyme, forcing the plant to finish its proteins. You've just made your plant indigestible.
Okay, so that's the long-term strategy. That's prevention. That's how you build a resilient garden. But what if you walk outside tomorrow and your plants are already covered in aphids right now? You need a tactical override. You need a way to handle an active infestation while you're fixing that underlying metabolic problem.
First things first, please step away from the synthetic pesticides. They're like dropping a bomb to kill a fly. They kill everything, including all the beneficial insects, and they just wreck the ecosystem. Instead, we're going to use intelligent, non-toxic solutions that work with biology, using either sensory confusion or just simple physical mechanics.
And we've got two beautiful, elegant strategies here. The first one we call the fog, which uses rose geranium soap for olfactory camouflage. The second is the smother, which uses a specific kind of fish amino acid for physical suffocation. Each one is a different tool for a different job.
So the rose geranium soap is all about confusing the pest's senses. See, pests find your plants by smell. The super potent terpenes in rose geranium, those are just the aromatic compounds, create this thick sensory fog. It's like a jamming signal that completely overwhelms their little antennae. They get disoriented and they literally can't recognize your plant as food anymore. Your plant becomes invisible.
The second option is a bit more direct. Fish amino acid made from blueback mackerel specifically is packed with heavy fatty acids. When you spray this, the solution physically coats the bodies of insects like mites and whiteflies. It blocks their spiracles, those are the tiny little pores they breathe through, and it suffocates them. It's a mechanical kill, not a chemical one, which means pests can't build up a resistance to it.
So when you combine these long-term metabolic fixes with these smart short-term overrides, you see how we completely shift our perspective? We are no longer soldiers fighting an endless war against pests. We become architects of profound plant health.
This right here, this is the whole shift in a nutshell. The old way was about fighting pests, constantly spraying the symptoms, and always asking, how do I kill them? The new way is about finishing proteins, fixing the root cause, and asking the much better question, why are they here? We've moved from a mindset of control to one of cultivation. We've gone from managing a battlefield to nurturing a truly resilient system.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. Now that you can see pests not as an enemy, but as a messenger, what else are you fighting in your garden that might actually be trying to tell you something really important? Something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.